Hello and welcome to Door to Door Gaming. This is episode 3 of season 2, and it's our year of second chances. I have with me John, Cameron, and Dalton. Say hi.
Hello.
Hello.
How's everybody been doing?
Not
Great.
Too bad.
Honestly,
Yeah,
pretty good.
Weather's been getting a lot nicer. It's not, in the negatives. I'm not turning into a human icicle.
No
How
more
are your
frostbite.
fingers? Yeah, how are your fingers?
Good. The nail is slowly growing back. Killed all the skin underneath my nail bed. My entire fingernail fell off. So
Any discoloration still, or just normal?
nope, it's
Can
fine.
you feel anymore?
It I can feel stuff, but it's like very numb feeling. They said it would be about like months before I got a complete feeling back in my finger.
That's
One of my
fucking
toes is
crazy.
still like that. Every once in a while it turns purple too. So,
That's insane.
It's not good.
John, how are you?
I got a new zero-turn lawnmower, so I'm happy.
I forgot about this.
I am officially a middle-aged man where new appliances and lawnmowers get me all excited.
Next week he's gonna tell us about his grade A dishwasher.
Yeah, as Sarah and Cameron, I haven't shut up about this lawnmower for over a week. It got freighted from Florida, but I got out there and I got to play around on it. I got the first mowing of the season done.
So
It
you've
was
used
literally,
I used it. Oh yeah.
It was literally sitting in a crate in the driveway, just like, there it is. Okay.
I figured out how to use it. There's definitely a learning curve to zero turns, but I got out there. I was doing donuts in the gravel driveway with it. So
Oh my god.
I'm assuming it wasn't dry. A swarm of angry Amazon drones.
no.
Oh, okay. Could
They
you
just kind
imagine
of
hearing this, like, just like-
unceremoniously. It's just like 30 drones carrying a 500-pound lawnmower. Like, there it goes. It's going to my house.
Sounds like
Oh my
a swarm
God.
of angry bees. It's like.
Well, the guy called me, and like all through shipping, I was paranoid because you can't really, you can't. So the people that delivered it is Maersk. They own like the big shipping lanes in the ocean. Like they own a bunch of. They're the ones that own the largest container ships on the seas. So they do a lot of like freight delivery. And I called because I got a notification that I had to set up a time for it to be delivered because it required a signature. And they told me that Walmart does not allow changes in the delivery times and dates, but there was a waiver on it. And I was trying to figure out how the hell there was a waiver on a $3,000 freight item that had a residential delivery, but I digress. I kind of chilled out because of that. And then the guy gave me like a 30-minute heads up, a courtesy call. He's like, yeah, we're about 30 minutes out. So, you know, just to let you know, we'll be pulling into your driveway so you can come out and get it. And I'm like, come out and get it. I was told that there's a waiver on this. And the dude really unceremoniously, it was like, picture required, Walmart delivery, back up the hill. Yeah, I don't know. I'll give you a call back. Now, mind you, this was a 30-minute courtesy call. And I realized after 2 loops and 35 minutes later that this dude hadn't called me back. So either they were on their way back to Cincinnati with it, and he wasn't going to tell me, or they just dropped it off in my driveway, and he wasn't going to tell me. So I called him back. He's like, oh, yeah, no, you're good. There's a waiver. We just dropped it off. I was like, oh, okay. Thanks for letting me know, I guess. Thanks for giving me like 30 minutes. Because Walmart's freight deliveries, it says right on Walmart's website when you order this stuff that with signature required items, you get one opportunity. And if you don't sign for it, it gets sent back and you get refunded. So you have to go through the whole fucking process.
Oh my god!
So
I mean, I get that
30
kind of
minutes.
makes sense to an
So
extent.
like the first half week, I was paranoid. I was like, "Am I going to be home? Like, hey, I'll just schedule it for my day off." And then they're like, "Yeah, we can't change it." And I was like, "Oh no!" And they're like, "But it has a waiver." I was like, "Yay!" You know the panic calm meme with the shitty mannequin where he's like, "Panic, calm, panic calm. That was me for like a week. In the last 30 minutes, he's like, "Oh, I don't know. I'll call back and let you know." It's just radio silence. I had a heart
That's so
attack.
fun. It's just like the similar to the like it's Jover, we're so back.
Yes. So that's what's been going on with me. That I got requested to do a survey for the marathon closed alpha. I don't have a code yet, but I didn't even sign up for it. I just had an email, and Dalton, check your email. I told Cameron to check his. I would assume that they sent out requests to join the pool to like existing Bungie account holders. I don't know. I never went to the website and signed up for it. I just opened my email, oddly enough, because I was obsessing about the tracking on a lawnmower, and I had a notification from Bungie.net asking me to take the entry survey into the alpha. So I did that, and I'm in the pool. Hopefully, I'll get a code.
Yeah,
Past
So-
that-
I signed up for it directly, so I
Oh, okay.
actually
Yeah,
went.
I was
I went into it directly.
Gotcha.
I was gonna say you could sign up for it like directly, but I've also heard where people have been like, "Hey, congratulations, you've been selected," and then it's been like days and they still don't have a code. So it's like,
Right. Yeah. They're gonna
Hold up.
continue passing them out throughout the entire 2-week period of the alpha. So
Speaking of developers, our topic today is indie devs in the face of AAA, which I'm assuming indie meaning individual, Yes.
yeah, independent.
kinda.
Independent.
Independent.
Yeah,
Okay.
independent.
So typically, what happens with developers, you have like, well, let's take your favorite game franchises for example. The Fallout franchise is developed by Bethesda Game Studios.
Mhm.
Bethesda Game Studios is the development crew, and it's overheaded and owned by a company called Bethesda Softworks, which in and of itself is in another umbrella underneath what used to be ZeniMax Studios, but is now owned by Microsoft Corporation. The fact that Bethesda Game Studios is owned by Bethesda Softworks and the Microsoft Corporation, essentially the fact that they have owners that can pull strings makes them a AAA dev. An independent studio such as I can't think of any off the top of my head true indie studios. There's
Who were the
a
guys?
shitload.
Who were the guys that did Helldivers before they got bought out by Sony?
Arrowhead Games. Yeah. So so Arrowhead Games is owned by Arrowhead Games. There's nobody above them. The only person that they have to work with is a publisher for their game.
So wouldn't 7 Days to Die be one of those?
It's 7 Days to Die is an indie studio.
Indie
It is
studio, okay.
it is the Fun Pimps, and they are owned by nobody but themselves. That's what makes them independent. They're
Okay.
independent because they don't have anybody else trying to tell them what to do. So
Okay.
now, so I'm familiar with like the terms used in like marching band, where you're like describing the size of how many people are in that band,
yeah,
and they use like AA, AAA,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Is that the same terminology used for like game studios? I've never actually
yeah.
looked into
So
that.
a lot of people like to take so we're still in the spider web, if you will, of or the cobweb, depending on how messy you want to get with the descriptions of defining what an indie studio actually is. Most people take what I just said and run with it because it's a pretty dead set like description, definition, if you will. But a lot of people also like to throw in like development team sizes. So like a lot of people still wouldn't consider let's take Bethesda just by themselves, like Todd's crew, and remove Softworks and Microsoft completely from it, and it's just them doing them shit. There's nobody above them. Bethesda Game Studios is now an independent developer. They have like 500 people on their team, so most people still would not consider them an indie dev because they put out AAA quality, so they would fall into that AAA side of it. Right. So so the other there's no
Maybe 6
formula
months in.
for it. Yeah. So there's no formula that really goes along with it. It's more of a gut thing for most people at this point. So like you can take a game studio that has 10 developers, and if they put out a Halo 3 or a Halo Infinite level quality of game, a lot of people are going to just look at the game and be like, "Oh, this is AAA." But the studio isn't necessarily AAA. You have to differentiate the quality of the game from the studio. If you're talking about the studio, you have to look at the studio itself, not necessarily the games that they put out.
Yeah, it's nuanced similarly. Cameron, you brought up marching band. It's nuanced similarly to like music as well. Like indie music used to mean like it's just that person is the person releasing and making and doing all the things on all their own shit. But it has since there have been extra like categories and attributes and like defining characteristics that have sort of altered that meaning with time, where like indie has turned more into a genre of music, similar to how like indie games, like some of them, like some people will think of like an indie game as opposed to an indie developer, and an indie game just means a small one-off game.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of like
there's like a lot of nuance and things that go with it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get into like with the Oblivion release that just came out. It's owned by Bethesda, AAA studio, makes AAA games. It's owned by a AAA company. I would personally consider the Oblivion remaster an indie game. It's not an indie game; it's a AAA game, but it was released by an indie. It was developed by an indie studio. They outsourced nearly the entire project to some small crew that was mostly made of huge fans of Bethesda that played Oblivion when they were like 10 or 13 years old. But crazy. If I remember correctly, I don't know the name of the studio that did it, but they only have like 20 or 30 employees, if I remember correctly. Actually, I had it up on Steam. Hold on.
Yeah, for me, as far as like indie devs, I would consider like anything in the single digits. I'm a bit more weird about how I would classify that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it was done by a company called Virtuos. Virtuos. Let me look it up. You can keep talking.
Yeah. So with the Oblivion remaster, am I crazy, or was that like a complete stealth drop?
It was a shadow drop. Yeah, for sure.
It was a shadow drop. They released.
So obviously, Buddy, who was any sort of fan of Oblivion, knew that it was going to be coming out any day now. So like, it wasn't really a shadow drop. It just didn't have any advertising covering it. So
because I didn't know about it until like a couple days ago.
Oh, okay.
Because a bunch of people started talking about it as it got closer to release, and then I was like,
"Oh,
this is happening."
Dalton, had you ever played it before?
For like 30 minutes.
Okay.
Skyrim was the first Bethesda game that I actually played. Or actually, no, Fallout 3 was the first Bethesda game that I played.
If you enjoy Oblivion is way more jank, so it's funnier. It can have funnier moments. But the story. I think the storyline for Oblivion is much better than Skyrim.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. The entire game, the entire game, all of the DLCs, like a bunch of side quests and stuff like that, they deal with like different planes of reality. Whereas like Skyrim has like, it's more about the one world exploration, you know, with the caves and all that fun stuff that travel underneath almost the entirety of the map. But the actual map space to play on in Oblivion is much larger than Skyrim.
Yeah, the vibe that I've gotten is that like
30% or something like that bigger.
Yeah, the vibe that I've gotten between the two games is Oblivion is much more like the main quest is much more appealing, whereas in Skyrim it's a lot of the smaller shit is the stuff that you would chase after.
Yeah.
So
they're both.
I might get it. I might buy it. I don't know.
It's on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I'm gonna download it right now.
That's I have it going.
I didn't know that.
It's
free, you say? Let me push a button.
I broke myself away from the TV to come record. Actually,
that's so funny.
The pause screen's up right now. My character's wearing fur armor and shit. But no, it's So the way the remaster works, the code of the game is almost untouched. They ported it over to UE5. It has real-time lighting. Like they did. I cannot underestimate the need to just like go look at like before and after pictures. But when
So
for
beautiful.
somebody like Cameron and I, who we've played it before, I don't know about you, I picked up the controller and it immediately it felt like Oblivion. Like when you move, when you run, when
Oh,
you
yeah.
jump, it was Oblivion. I was like, thank God.
Oh,
But like
like
it looks better than Skyrim. It looks so much
Yeah,
better than Skyrim.
absolutely. Like I was telling you, it's not really a glitch. It's more of an exploit that you can do at the very beginning of the game to get your stealth up to 100 before you even leave the first dungeon.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I was like, I want to see if this still ended. So I had a rubber band around my controller holding me walking into a wall, crouched down, and I went upstairs and took a shower and came back down, and I was like level 90 already. Well, my stealth was level 90. So
That's insane.
Yeah, no, it's
Oh
it's
my
everything's
God.
still there. It just looks so good.
120 gigabytes.
yes,
Yeah.
it's a big
Oh.
file. They
Dalton,
did
it was
suppression.
originally a 6.7 gigabyte game.
Yeah, well, I watched I watched FaZe Jev a lot, and
Okay.
he anytime that there's a big release, he normally he'll upload like one video of him just like trying it out, like 15, 20, 30 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
And I watched him I watched him create the character and then watch the intro cutscene, and then I didn't watch anything else because then I was like, if I'm gonna
that's
play
right.
this and I've never
You've
played
never-
it before,
I've- yeah.
totally want to experience it all firsthand. So I ended up closing the video, and now that I know it's on Game Pass, I'm definitely probably gonna literally play it tonight.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dude,
So,
but
it
the
looks
cinematic-
super pretty.
Dude, so as I was go ahead, Cameron.
I was gonna say the cinematic opening just showing off the world. Like before you even hit I was giddy. I was sitting there like
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah, dude, I saw it and then I was immediately like, yep, I'm probably gonna play this game.
Yeah, I've talked to Cameron quite a few times about like my my viewpoint on remasters, and because the game code is still there and it still feels and plays like Oblivion, they kind of changed how combat feels and how responsive it is, like closer to a Skyrim type thing, where like when you make contact with something, there's more feedback than there used to be, but most of the systems are untouched. If they have been touched, they've been refined. But past that, I've talked to Cameron quite a few times about how most remasters just like don't need to happen at all. The Last of Us Part 2 remastered came out.
That's like the worst example. They keep remaking their shit for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, so there's two different viewpoints that people are doing that shit because it's a bandwagon still for some fucking reason. And then you have this, which is like they went back. You remember how Oblivion, Cameron, had like 3 voice actors for all of the NPCs?
yeah.
They've re-recorded a shitload of those lines using new voice actors. And I'm not joking, Dalton. Like there was like I think it was like 5 or 6 unique voice actors for each 3 for each gender in the original game. And some of them would do accents, but like every guard in the game has the same voice. Like there were
Skyrim had a similar thing. I think they said
Skyrim was so much better though. Like I can't.
Well, I think Oblivion, I'm pretty sure you're right. It was like 6 or 7 people that voiced. If I didn't remember the number, it was like over 700 non-playable characters.
You would talk to a person, and he'd be like, "Yes, you just need to go talk to that guard over there." And you'd go talk to the guard, and he would literally be like, "Hello, citizen, what can I do for you?" The exact same voice. And you're like, oh.
Yeah.
There would be instances, and it still happened. It happened to me earlier today, where a person would be talking to you like this, and you would go on to continue the dialogue. It's now your turn to speak. So you select rumors, and they'd be like, "Oh, I don't know about any rumor." Like they just completely change voices to a different voice actor mid fucking character. Oh my god. Yeah, so Oblivion's a vibe, dude.
Yeah.
It's so good though.
Okay, I think we got a little off the rails.
Yeah,
let's
we
go.
did.
Let's
Let's
say our
let's
topic
go-
turned into
yeah. Let's double
oblivion.
back
It turned
to
into
yeah.
oblivion.
That was kind of my fault because I had some questions. But
I'll
what-
bring it back. I'll bring it back around. Virtuos is the company that did the remaster. They are an outsourcing company, so kind of by default they're indie. When it comes to size, quality, clearly they put out some AAA type shit, and obviously they have people above them pulling strings, which are the people that hired them. But before we completely push Oblivion off to the side, because it's the internet's obsessing at the moment, so are we. They've also worked on Metal Gear Solid 5, Watch Dogs 2, Uncharted 4, Blops 3, FIFA, Mortal Kombat X, Just Cause 3, Siege, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Halo 5, Until Dawn, Disney Infinity, and Evolve. They've literally only touched beautiful fucking games.
Yeah, no kid. Wait, is the Black Ops 3 specifically the PS3 port? Because I would shit myself if that's what they worked on.
It just says Call of Duty Blops 3. So
Okay.
it doesn't give any specifics. So
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
say that I'm gonna throw a little shade at Bethesda and say that they should probably start porting out a majority of their work.
yeah, because they did a phenomenal job.
Because from what I've heard, this is probably the first Bethesda game in the last 10 years that has actually launched properly.
Right. Yeah.
Because most of their
It
games,
just works.
It
yes,
ju- it
for
ju-
for
just
once, Todd was
For
right.
once, it just works.
Zero advertising for it, and it just works.
Yeah.
But the wild thing is, what happened? It came to fucking Games Pass. Which
yeah, I mean,
that's
you
a good
could
thing for
kind of
Games
see
Pass
that coming
holders,
because
but
of they made that they got bought, so it
yeah,
makes sense.
all
Um,
Xbox said all first party titles, yeah. But
Yeah.
it just kind of throws it into like the giant pool because Games Pass has become an indie haven almost,
Mhm.
right? So like, I mean, you
Yeah.
got
Most of those
um,
services in general have kind of become that.
yeah, and it's nice that they're curated, because like I really don't want to like piss anybody off here, but like technically shovelware is indie developed. So like then you have platforms like the Nintendo Switch where it's just junk games everywhere. So like so
Was that the quotations around junk or games?
Games.
That's
They
fair.
literally, there's a game that turns your Switch into an alarm clock. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not even kidding.
Yeah.
It's like why?
That's so
Honest-
random.
honestly
Anyway, that's
though,
a whole other-
I think proper indie titles are like where the future's heading almost entirely.
Yeah.
I've done a decent bit of research on it in the past couple years, and I don't think much like the hardware developers, Sony, Xbox, Nintendo. I don't think they're really long for the world in the state that they're in. Just like we've talked about that. The world is moving. The world has moved to a subscription streaming service. The only thing that's lagging behind is games because size, fucking the amount of horsepower typically needed to run some of these AAA titles. If they are taking it away from your computer and running it in a server farm to stream it to you, along with fucking the 7,000 other people that want to play that game at that particular moment, it costs some of these companies an ass load of money to invest in these streaming services. But it's like it's the way everyone's going. It's the direction that the entire industry is slowly moving to. I view it as the same as AAA, right? There's a reason that we're seeing games are now $70 like standard price is $70 for a AAA game, and they justify that based off of we have big teams and we have big ambitions. There's
Cut
no
your fucking
reason.
teams down.
I mean,
I'm not like big on layoffs, but like clearly having more people isn't better in a lot of cases, especially with AAA games,
Well,
because
and
AAA
then-
games aren't getting better. You know what I mean?
then
Like
you
they're not
on
one
top of
upping them.
that-
They've stopped one upping themselves.
yeah,
anymore.
graphics fidelity. We're at a point where we're seeing minimal games for like asinine amounts of money being poured into technology. It doesn't it doesn't. It's not a sustainable thing the way they're going. You know what I mean?
And then
They
on
almost
top of
have to
that,
cut their teams out.
I mean, even if you're paying your team minimum wage to make these games, you're making a profit off these games.
Hmm.
Like you're wanting to charge 70, and Nintendo is like, hey, now we're
That's what
charging
I was gonna say.
$80.
Yeah, I was gonna throw it
For
out there.
Mario Kart, yeah, fuck you.
Mario Kart. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
insane.
and I'm
dude.
pretty sure they flat out. I could be wrong, but I could have swore they had a press conference where they said the reason they're charging that amount of money for Mario Kart is because they know people will buy it.
That's
Yeah,
fucked.
essentially, if they
Nintendo-
make it, they will pay it.
Nintendo
that
is
is
such
the
an anti-consumerist company.
That is the shittiest reasoning for like supply and demand. Like the supply and demand is the stupidest fucking I'm not don't know why I'm getting on this rant. Dumbest thing to ever exist in the like existence of anything ever. Supply and demand is the dumbest concept in the world, with the exception of two things: money and food. Maybe resources, like physical, tangible resources. But they're not running
Non-luxury
out of
items.
they're not running out of copper and circuit boards and circuitry to make these
know,
games.
You know what else they're not running out of? Splitting copies of digital games. That's the
Yeah.
thing that pisses me the fuck off. You're gonna up your price on a AAA title that I want to play, and we'll get into the. This is gonna be a long topic. I feel we'll get into the indie side here in a minute, but upping the price of your fucking AAA game to $80 fucking, and be like, oh, I'll just wait till it goes on sale, and you're like, oh, there's not gonna be a sale. I'm a first party developer. This is the price. It's $80. They're like, oh, what do I get with it? And they're like, you get a license to play a digital copy of our digital game. Like, oh, where's your manufacturing cost that I need to pay the extra fucking money for? Why is it $80 when you have no manufacturing cost anymore? The manufacturing cost that you have is the electricity to run the server farm that you're already running.
From what little research I've done on the Switch 2, it's to be that even if you buy a physical copy of the game, there is no data for that game on there. It is literally a key that lets you download a digital
Yeah,
copy of the game.
it's the
anyway.
license
So
for it. Yeah.
it's like,
Well,
what's
it's
even the
because with the
point?
Switch, it's also because like those cartridges cannot hold a lot of data as is, so they've probably just completely abandoned the idea of storing much, if any, data on those physical cartridges.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's so fucking stupid. We are going to pay more, and then we're never gonna own anything, and then they can change it, take it away, shut it down whenever they want. And I'm normally a big digital guy because most of my games I own are on Steam, or I pick them up through like PlayStation Plus sales, or
Fair.
through like whatever it is. Almost all of I don't own a single physical game for any console except for my Switch, and it's been that way since I got a PS4. Because when I had a PS3, I didn't really buy digital games because they never went on sale on there. For whatever reason, I remember as a kid there were just never sales on PS3 for any
Right.
game.
Yeah.
So they really only started doing that with the holidays.
I'm gathering all the information correctly. Basically, for this topic, we're all kind of in agreement that AAA game studios kind of suck ass.
They do, dude.
There are a lot of I love
They-
a lot of the games that they put out, but their consumer practices are god awful. And there are a lot of things that the reason that indie games are thriving is because they are doing a lot more right than they are wrong.
Well, it's as simple as this, dude. When you have an indie dev team that is working on an independent game, and nobody is telling you what you need to do except your fan base, and you actually have the time to listen to your fan base because your team is only 10 people and one of them is a community manager that knows how to use Discord, you're signing yourself up for fucking success.
Yeah.
Like all you have to do,
you're just giving the people what they want.
There is
and you're
one
making a fuck ton of money.
There is one fucking rule to making money in making video games, and it's listen to your fans. I don't know how it gets fucked up so often in the industry. Abiotic Factor, which I'm going to talk about today. That's my game. Spoilers. Cameron and I have been playing the fuck out of it. I've been going through devlogs lately, and what do? They listen to their fans. Valheim, another hugely accredited game. They small. What is it? Iron Gate Studios, 20 or 30 people, if I remember correctly, oversaw by oh my god, the people who make Satisfactory, Coffee Stain. They listen to their fans. Satisfactory, another widely acclaimed indie title by Coffee Stain themselves, really well known for having the best social development team in the gaming industry. The game was in yeah, okay. Like, all you have to do is listen to your fucking fans and communicate. Like, when they have an idea, or if you have like 30,000 people yelling at you about an idea on Discord, maybe you should look into that idea for your game. You know what I mean? Sure. It's not one dude in the shadows yelling about something that's pissing him off. It's a significant part of your fan base.
Yeah, the issue with something like AAA, for example, like something like Call of Duty or Destiny, a lot of FPS games, for some reason, none of them know how to listen to their communities. And you want to know why? It's because we're all stupid. You want to know why we're all stupid? Because we still fucking buy it.
Yeah.
The reason that they don't listen is because they make too much money to have to listen. And they're not going to listen until they start to lose money.
Things like Fortnite, even the Halo multiplayer there for a little bit. Fortnite, Halo, fucking anything, pretty much any largely successful online paid to play, free to play shooter, especially shooters, they have so high of a player base and they make so much money. You're not a fan to them. You are user number 21423.
Yeah.
Like, you're just a number that's filling up a slot in a server. That's all you are to them. And as long as enough of the server slots are filled and the shareholders are making money, then the company's happy. They don't need to listen to anybody else.
If you're loading somebody's pockets, they're not concerned about anything else. The bottom line is money. When you get and I'm not saying that I necessarily blame these companies.
No.
You know what I mean?
A lot of these companies are headed up by a lot of these companies are headed up by CEOs and the board, the group that runs the company are business people first. There's so many AAA companies out here doing shit that the top 3 levels of management, they're not gamers. They never have been gamers. They were brought in because they were successful with GM or Honda or fucking.
They just know how to make money.
Industries, and they know how to make money. They were brought in to fix a problem, and they're fixing it wrong because they don't know their consumer base. So.
Yeah. I think it comes down to like C-suites and execs just fucking suck. Shareholders are stupid. And then on the other end, consumers need to learn how to speak with their wallets more.
That's fair.
If at least for scenarios that are that extreme. Like something like Call of Duty, they are slowly, mind you, very fucking slowly, learning from their community, even though their community is full of morons.
Yeah. That one I know you're not joking about. The COD community is kind of fucking, it's always, even when I was a part of it, like during its height in high school for me, it's always been kind of you could tell if somebody played COD from a distance. How's that? Is that yeah.
It's always been a mess.
You could pick somebody out of a crowd in a school back in 2010 and go, they play Madden 2010 and COD. That's it. So
says a lot about a person.
It really does. Like,
and now it's the Zoomers that play like 2K and Warzone.
I saw we're getting off topic again. It's fine. I saw a meme that I told Cameron about, and I think I sent it to Sarah a while back, a long time ago. And it said, kids today, it's one of those like kids today will never understand memes. And it was me when I was 10, and it had, I believe it was either the first Crash Bandicoot. No, it was Super Mario 64. and then it said 10 years later, and it was like one of the Watch Dogs games or some shit like that. Like just that difference, right? And then it said Gen Z when they were 10 years old, and it had Fortnite, and it said 10 years later, and it was still fucking Fortnite. Like that's how stagnant like the AAA industry has been, dude. I'm not gonna throw out an accurate number because I don't know and I don't want it to be false. But I read an article not too long ago that it was like easily the top half, if I remember correctly, a large majority of the 20 most popular games globally are over 10 years old. Things like Fortnite or Roblox, shit like that. Destiny, which Destiny 2 hasn't turned. The franchise is over 10 years old. Yeah. Considering there's only been 2 games.
7 years old?
Yeah. So, I mean, the AAA sector is stagnant as shit. We have like these big ambitious projects that still come out, and I can't name any off the top of my head right now, but things like Anthem or No Man's Sky, No Man's Sky is doing fine now, but there were so many AAA failures. There was like a 3 or 4 year period where there were so many AAA launches that were just fucking failures that I think the AAA segment of the industry just kind of became afraid to do new things. So they jimmied back on what they're comfortable with, and they're like, we'll double down on Fortnite. We'll add a battle royale mode to this game that we're already doing.
Yeah.
Or with Fortnite, we'll change it to a battle royale. We'll do something that has been shown to be safe, and we'll make money in the long run. And because these AAA studios are just stagnant and not doing anything new or interesting, people are just kind of blindly going along with it. But when we're bored, we turn our eyes to the indie segment, who now has all of this freedom to do all this creative shit, because there's not multi-billion-dollar companies breathing down their throats and shutting their projects down. Just take Stardew Valley, for example, right? When Stardew Valley first came out, if a large company like Microsoft saw that it was going to be successful and they wanted to invest into a clone game and they wanted to push hundreds of millions of dollars into marketing and just flood Stardew Valley's marketing strategy, which was mostly word of mouth, out, they could have completely shut down that project and murdered it, but they didn't, and they still haven't been doing that because they're too afraid to make moves. So the indie segment is growing hardcore because of that. So that's why we're getting so many awesome fucking projects, most of which come to Steam first, because our good Lord Gavin loves the indie studios, and he wants them on his platform. So
well, that's because that's what made most of Valve as a company, most of Valve and Steam as a company. They dominated those sort of spheres by releasing games that no one had ever heard of before. They constantly were innovating for the first 2 decades. Of their company's inception.
On top of that, the relationship that they have with indie devs. Okay, so there was an addition. It was a mod for Portal 2, and I can't remember what it's called, but it essentially introduced a new character, created a new storyline, and it was just like a little 2 or 3 person project. And Gabe got a hold of it, and he caught wind of it, and he contacted the people. He literally said, "Hey, when you finish this project, we will help you get it onto the Steam page or onto the Steam storefront, and we'll make sure that it is front page for the first week that it's up. And cool. if you need anything, if you need development help, if you get stuck in a code or something that just doesn't make sense when you're pouring through stuff."
He probably gave those people jobs.
Yeah,
he probably hired them eventually.
Email my team, and they'll help you work through whatever you get stuck on. And we want to see what you do. And this project turned into a full 12-hour long AAA quality mod for Portal 2 that was fully voice acted and everything by this team of 3 or 4 dudes that just made the mod in their spare time. The same thing happened with a fan-made Half-Life remake that ended up coming out it's all released for free. This one was Black Mesa. I think it was called Black Mesa. and it was the same thing. Gabe got wind of it. He took a look at it, and he that team actually contacted Steam or contacted Valve, and were like, because they were scared. They heard that Gabe was looking at their project, and this was back in a time where like Nintendo was going
like
off
they
and
thought
off
he
and
was
off.
gonna cut him
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, and so they contacted Valve, and they're like, "Hey, we're sorry, we can stop if you need us to. We're just fans, and we just wanted to see we just wanted people to have access to a good looking Half-Life in today's day and age." And Gabe's like, no, please keep going. We'll give you resources if you need resources. I want to see where this goes. Steam is such a beautiful platform for indie devs, whether it's one solo developers, which massive shout out to Eric Baroni, who solo developed Stardew Valley and is I mentioned it earlier, but it is one of, if not the single most successful video games ever made by one dude in his spare time. It's a passion project. You want to find a community of indie developers, look to Steam, seriously.
So in short, AAA is in it for the money, indie is for the community.
Yeah, pretty much. I like how you say in short. We're 45 minutes into that segment.
Hey, I'm trying to pull it back in.
You're good. You're good.
You just have to put some time in.
Yeah. And please, people, remember, just because you like your AAA studio doesn't mean that it's the same people that worked on the game that released last from them. It's about the team that's making your shit, not the title that's attached to the team. Mass Effect, the original trilogy, and Andromeda speak volumes to that. So
Painful volumes.
yeah. So.
All right. So
All
who's
right.
up? What are we doing?
Yeah.
So I'm going to choose John to go first because he already alluded to his game.
Fuck me. All right. So I played speaking of indie titles, I played an indie title with Cameron actually for this episode. Cameron can jump in if he wants to, or just keep quiet. It doesn't matter. But we both
played a little bit.
What if you guys brought the same game? You're both just talking about this?
No, but we collectively, each of us, put in probably 40 hours at least into this. My 41.5 for me. I played a game called Abiotic Factor.
So, ready for your first day? Okay, you're the transfer, huh? You sure picked a day. Things a bit hectic down.
And Abiotic Factor was released this coming summer because it's in early access. Its original release was, I think, mid last year. Developed by Deep Field Games. So essentially, what Abiotic Factor is, it is a survival crafting, base building, action adventure game. That is okay. I want to put you for the listeners and the viewers, roll with me. Imagine you're Dalton. Have you played Half-Life? First one?
Not really. No.
Have you played any of the Half-Lives?
Not really.
Okay. All right. So you might not get this.
That's okay.
Imagine you show up to work to Black Mesa in Half-Life, and it's your first day on the job as a scientist, and everything still goes to shit, but Gordon Freeman called off that day. So the dude that's supposed to come in and kick ass and save the world has the flu, and it's just you and up to 6 of your scientist buddies who it's also their first day on the job, and you just gotta make shit work. That's what Abiotic Factor is. So Abiotic Factor, you start out as a scientist working for a company called the Gate Foundation in the Cascade Laboratories. It's an underground lab that has to deal with interplanetary travel. There's different dimensions that so they're doing experiments. They cause a cascade event, much like Half-Life, and open up portals to other worlds. And through those portals, alien life starts coming in, And long story short, from what Cameron and I can gather, murder or are in the process of murdering because of the constant screams in the background from the ambiance, the entire facility. And you have to get to the surface. You start out in an area, and your job is to essentially survive the things that are trying to kill you while scavenging everything you can find, because the crafting system in this game works kind of like this. I don't know if it has a name, but essentially this is the cycle. So you grab a rubber band ball, and you grab some pencils and pens, and you grab a yardstick, and you grab a table leg. And because you've grabbed those 4 things, you now have an idea, which is essentially a crafting recipe. But when you go to the idea, you have to put the correct ingredients in the correct slots to unlock it as a crafting recipe. And once you do that, now you know how to make a makeshift crossbow out of those items. So you would continue going around and gathering all the materials. And literally, you just grab one of everything you can find all the time. And you unlock more and more advanced things the further into the base you get. The base is kind of set up in different sectors that require a large, or like a key item, if you will. Imagine if Doom was an RPG. You know, you have stuff to do in the sector before you get the yellow card, but now that you're capable of getting the yellow card, you move on to the next sector, and then you have to craft a whole bunch of other shit before you can craft the red card. Follow my gist, essentially. So in each of those sections, you get access to new materials, but also new enemies. So there's aliens, there's soldiers that are coming in, both from this plane of existence and other planes of existence. It's almost like there's a civil war in this facility. And you just kind of have to do your best. We've gotten through 2 or 3 sections at this point and moved base once, which was fun. Yeah. The game is, graphics wise, the game is rather, it mimics the old PlayStation 1 style, like OG Xbox style games. It's very, very, they say it right in the game description. It's very heavily influenced by Half-Life 1. The game looks like it. The voice acting also mimics it. It's very, if it weren't done on purpose, you would say it was done shoddy. But it is an artistic choice. The ambiance of the game is fantastic. You always feel like you are in this crumbling underground base. I don't know if Cameron will attest to it as well. Even though you're in a safe area, you never truly quite feel safe. Even if you're in the middle of your base, you always feel like something could get through those traps that you set up without you noticing, and all of a sudden you have a big security robot in your base that you have to deal with.
Yes, I come through the traps.
Yeah, or Sarah just runs through tripwires and blows her legs off. If anybody has played Project Zomboid that's listening, the character creation, because the game, you can create a custom character. I'm gonna throw some games out that hopefully you could look at to more understand some of the systems. The character creation itself it's called a Zomboid-like creation system. Because Project Zomboid is actually the first game that used this type of system. So you create your character visually, and you customize them visually. And now that you've created that visual character, that character can be used in multiple worlds. However, the stats and their inventories are locked to the world that they start in. When you create a character, however, you don't necessarily assign it stats. You assign it perks or buffs and debuffs, essentially. So you start out with positive 10 points, and you have a list of positive traits and a list of negative traits. You can each of the positive traits has a negative cost. So if you have a surplus of 10 points, and I'll just make something up, quick sprinter, say you run faster. costs -2. Now you have 8 points. You add positive traits until you are either at net 0 or in the negatives. If you end up in the negatives, you have to pick negative traits to go along with your character. Like maybe, easily exhausted. Let's say the more you run, the quicker your hydration builds up. You can play with the point system like that. As long as you're in the green or at 0, you have a good character. And then when you go into the game, it's kind of like a Skyrim leveling system. The more you just use something, the more you level that particular skill up. And there's different unlocks. There's different perks that get unlocked with those skill trees just as you use it. For example, aiming, because you're a shitty scientist. Like you're just a meek little scientist that's doing his best. You know how to use guns. You know how to aim a gun. I've never shot a gun before. So aiming at first is like fucked. Aiming is its own skill. And the more you land a shot on target, essentially, the more accurate at long range you are. But I think it's level 6 or level 7 in the aiming skill, you unlock the ability to use military grade firearms, which you've probably already found. It just literally says your meek scientific life is behind you now. You have the confidence to use fully automatic weaponry. Like you just
That's so
everything's
cool.
really thematic like that. Yeah.
I like that concept.
Yeah. If Cameron would like to say anything about the game that I'm missing, I know I just went over like a lot of the mechanics.
I know a very important part you're missing.
However, like some of the nuances and the funny stuff is eluding me. The game's charming. The game's charming as all fucking get out. But I can't really remember anything specific with that. It's just really amusing to play. Every time we do play it, I'm kind of just enamored by the whole game. So that's my personal take on Abiotic Factor.
So one thing I was kind of surprised you mentioned it, but you didn't really go into detail. Base building in the game is it's interesting because it's not that you are designing a base necessarily. Like you're not building up the walls and putting up like turrets to defend it and everything. You're picking because the map is what is it? It's pre-generated, so it doesn't change.
Right.
So you would pick a room in whatever sector you're at if you're moving base or what have you, but you're picking a one room and you're just kind of decorating it, so to speak.
So like like Cameron said, the entire base is handcrafted. And when I mentioned earlier different zones, you start out in the office sector. The second area we went to was manufacturing, and the third area that we're in now, I believe, is like, so the game has like an SCP vibe to it also. So we're technically in like experimentation and the containment section right now. Each of those, there's also a mine, but each of those has their own vibe. And when you set up base, essentially you're just like going and grabbing a chair or a fridge or a couch or a locker or a filing cabinet from somewhere else in the base and bringing it back and plopping it down, or a lamp, or there's things that you can build like crates or crafting benches and stuff like that. But it's essentially it's essentially what you would do if you had to survive the zombie apocalypse in a fortified Walmart. You'd be going and bringing shit to a section, and you'd be building your living room and entertainment, and then you'd be building the kitchen over by the refrigerated food section. It's kind of how the system works. So
Build the TP fort.
I thought you were gonna say
my
TV, which brings me.
Yeah, that about gave me a stroke. So John has this collection of like 7 or 8 TVs, and they're playing like your basic like job training videos. Like when you turn them on, it's just like, this is how you operate a forklift, like that, just that kind of thing. But each TV has a different one, and he's got them all stacked up, and he will turn them all on at the same time, and it's just like this conglomeration of voices. And
You're just listening to 7 PowerPoints simultaneously.
The first time he did that, I walked into the room and I was overwhelmed. I was like, oh my God. It's like,
Yeah. Oh, and to paint that aesthetic, there's CRT TVs too, because the game takes place in the 80s. So yeah, yeah. Abiotic is very, very fun.
The desk chairs are still my favorite part.
Oh yeah, game of the year, 10 out of 10, hands down. Negative things can't be said about this game. One of the items that you can like package up and bring back to your base, or even just use it whenever the fuck you find it. Office chairs. Not only can you sit in them and spin in them, you can move around in them. Wow.
You're talking like roll around, like just sitting it while you're sitting in them.
Yes,
Yes,
the little
yep.
character's legs just keep
You
going.
kick your leg out too.
That's really funny.
I think at one point all three of us like did a lap around the office sector of the building in office chair.
You guys should have a race. Just have a race.
I think we tried to do that at one point. It didn't end very well for me. I'm directionally challenged.
We can set up a trip mine, and the first chair to cross it wins.
Hey, that's me.
So the last thing that I have on it is I mentioned earlier like multi-planetary travel. They have different portals that open up throughout the game, some of which you have to go through to traverse different areas of the building or of the compound essentially. But a lot of them go to different worlds. The couple that we've traveled through so far, and I know I said we're 40 hours in, but I have no problems saying that like completing the story to this game, because it is a narratively driven game, it's just environmentally told, kind of like Dark Souls or something like that, where you have to pay attention to the environment, what people are saying, and some notes and emails and stuff like that to really pick up what's going on. It's probably a 200-hour game as is, and 1.0 doesn't come out for a couple months, and they're adding entire new sections to the game. But some of the places that we've gone through so far include a world that looks like it's made of mushrooms. It's just like generic, if you will.
Found the mushroom biome. Let's go.
It's like your generic alien world, you know, with like big purple and pink plants and shit like that.
Mushroom Kingdom for Miss Peach and Mario.
Yeah. Another one was what Cameron and I essentially. It's Silent Hill. I think it's called Flatwood. It's essentially Silent Hill. There are these giant towering fucking monsters that come out of the fog and chase you. You have to go into that portal for a specific crafting item that you have to do later. And I think the only other one that we've been through is the train on an infinite track. And that one's fun. It's short, but it's fun. So you go through the portal and you get plopped out on the train, and you go down. You're in the locomotive, and you go downstairs, and one of the scientists is just shoveling coal constantly. And you look out the window, and it's a train on an infinite track. And you read an email that says they don't know how, they don't know why, they don't know if they did it, and they don't know how to undo it, but somehow the continued existence of reality is directly tied to whether or not this train stops or continues on its infinite path. And when you're down there, there's a scientist just shoveling coal, and he's clearly lost his mind. He's like, gotta go, gotta shovel, can't stop, train can't stop. And you try to talk to him, and he just shrugs you away. He's like, the train mustn't stop. What'll happen if it stops? Oh no, we don't know. We don't want to find out. The train can't stop. Can't let the train stop. So we just kind of turned away from him, and we're like,
this guy's just schizo ranting.
Okay, and went towards the caboose down the train. And you have to go into there to grab some other unique crafting items. But with 1.0, they're also going to introduce portal worlds that are designed specifically for you to build a home base in. So that's exciting. But yeah, that's Abiotic Factor. That's my game for the day or for the week. Nowhere near done playing it, but currently I am absolutely and wholeheartedly obsessed with Oblivion. So that's going to be my priority. But yeah, Abiotic Factor. Yeah. I'm done. Any questions?
Any questions for John?
Cool.
No?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Sounds like a neat
to
game.
Any questions I would have, I already know.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I think it's $25 now. Next week, on the fucking, it is currently 423. I know I normally don't like date games, but next week they're doing a $10 price hike in preparation for 1.0. The game is already worth the price hike, if you ask me. But if you want to look into it, it's probably a good opportunity to grab it now, essentially.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Who's next?
And
Who's going
contestant
next,
number 2 is Cameron.
Okay, roll right into it. So I gotta set up a little bit of a premise here. Um, the game that I chose to play is Paratopic. Um, and I have to look up the definition of it again because I kind of forgot what it was.
You're good.
So this is it. This is what the idea of it is, and I don't exactly know how to describe it myself. So paratopic means space that exists next to, beyond the story space. So basically,
Yeah.
like if you're watching a movie, you know how you have like the main points of the movie where like the main character is, they're discussing like plot development, like the interesting stuff of the story is happening. Paratopic is everything before or after the main event that has happened, if that makes sense. So you are
Okay.
like picking up these pieces of like what happened before and what happened after this main story event.
Okay.
So that in itself explains the story of the game, because the game is um first off, they it's an indie dev. Surprise,
Oh,
surprise.
oh,
Eh,
Um, they got some they got a decent award for, yeah, here it is. Um, so it was by a studio. I'm all over the place right now. Arbitrary Metric. It's like 4 or 5 devs that made this game. It's PS1 era, like 32-bit texture. It's an interesting looking game. But
okay.
they got the excellence in audio category at the 2019 Film Festival. Independent Games Festival, sorry. But okay, so now on to I got ahead of myself. The plot for the game takes place over 3 different characters, and the game never tells you which one you're playing. You just kind of have to discern from the stuff that is either directly in front of you or your surroundings. So you have 3 characters. You have an illegal courier that's taking contraband videotapes across the border. You have a hitman, and you have a bird watcher. Um, the the main 3 chunks of this game are kind of broken down by the three main characters, and the story skips around a lot. Where it's going to have jump cuts, like you'll be playing as one character, the screen will go black, and you're just immediately playing another character. So I believe I took some notes here. Um, the game starts with you sitting in a hallway. Um, you're playing as the courier at this point. Now I'm trying not to get into spoilers because the game itself is pretty interesting. But I want
Right.
to talk about the story a little bit. You're sitting in a hallway at like border patrol, I would assume, and there's this guy who's like questioning you about this contraband that you have that was like in your car, and there's you can select your choice. It is kind of like a multi pick your own adventure, but like at the end of the day, it doesn't really mean anything. but you can gain a little bit more information about the world that you're in, depending on what choices you pick. But he's questioning you about these video cassette tapes and like what they do, and you can just be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Um, so in this world, there was some catastrophic event, and out of that, they managed to like record on these VHS tapes, and these VHS tapes have some weird stuff that happens if you watch them, like specifically to you or in a small secluded area around you. Um, he's asking you about these videotapes, and he ends up watching one himself, and it kind of cuts to the next character. Um, you're now in the seat of a really rundown looking restaurant as the hitman. You're literally loading your gun in the restaurant. The restaurant is empty. It's like after hours, just about ready to close. And you kick down the door to the manager's office and just blast the dude. There's a reason for it. I don't really want to get too far into that, but this is another point where the game is like, hey, these VHS tapes aren't normal, because you're after you kill him, you see this. I mean, it's like a mountain of these tapes on his desk, and you pop one into a VCR, and all of a sudden time kind of skips backwards, like maybe 2 minutes, and you just see yourself shooting him again. And you're like, oh, that was weird. So you pop in another one, and it's like an infinite time loop is happening every time you watch one of these tapes. Um, so I believe shortly after that, it jump cuts to technically all three characters are driving down the same stretch of highway, and at any given point, like you'll be sitting in the car and you can kind of look around. You know, like what you would do if you were driving on a long stretch of highway.
Right.
You can look over in the passenger seat, and it might be the box of VHS tapes. You might look away and look back, and then it's the handgun, or you might look back and it's the camera that the birdwatcher was using. So it's kind of like you're playing all three characters in that given point in time, because they were all going down the same stretch of highway. So the next character you pop into is the bird watcher, and you're following. I believe it's like it's a red bird. I believe it's a different colored bird. It sticks out, and you're following this through this little forested area, trying to get a picture of it. And each time you pull up your camera to get a picture of it, it flies away, so you have to follow it. You know, it's stringing you along. Off the beaten path, you can find remnants of the event that happened that kind of spawned these VHS tapes. I'm not going to get into detail because it's interesting. I want people to play the game.
Right.
But if you continue on the path the way that you're supposed to, you find out what happens to the birdwatcher, and it kind of cuts back to the hitman at that point, and you stumble upon what happened to them from that character's point of view, and that kind of wraps up the game at that point. It's not a very long game. It's supposed to be a game that you can sit down and spend like 25-30 minutes, beat
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
It's a very short story, but
What
it's
game
pretty
category
impactful.
was it? Like, what type of game was it, I should say?
Oh, it's you would classify it as like a walking simulator, but it's like retro horror walking sim with elements of a story. So
Yeah. Steam classifies it as adventure and indie.
yes, it is indie. There's only like 4 or 5 people behind
Yeah.
the so,
Hell yeah.
questions, because that's pretty much it.
No, I was as you were talking about it, I was piecing through screenshots and videos of it on Steam. It's only it's $5.49 on Steam right now. Looks interesting.
Yeah. The atmosphere is really cool too. It's kind of like there's parts of it where it's kind of like Silent Hill sort of, and then there's other parts where it's like kind of peaceful and nice looking. It's interesting.
It looks very fucking. It looks eerie. It looks very uncanny valley. Like the environments that you're in are very like, I don't necessarily want to say backroomsy, but like it's just, they give you that same vibe like you mentioned, is like walking into anywhere in Silent Hill. Yeah.
I will say one thing that kind of threw me for a loop, and I've watched multiple videos of people trying to like do reviews on this game, and obviously with the amount of story information you have, you can kind of make your own conclusion as to what this game is trying to tell you, from like a standpoint of like their opinions on life or culture or consumerism.
Okay.
One thing that was kind of interesting, and it says a lot about how that society in that game is. When you first start playing as the hitman, you're like on the phone talking to whoever hired you, and you're kind of looking out the restaurant like big glass window, and there's just a dead body on the sidewalk that's being eaten by crows. They don't explain that at all. It's just kind of like, oh, that's normal, whatever. Okay, back to what I was doing. I was
Moving
I was
on.
Like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Ah, that's
Alright.
just Jimmy. That's just Jimmy enjoying his lunch.
Jimmy enjoying his lunch. Jesus Christ.
Jimmy being enjoyed as lunch. I think is what you
Well,
meant to say.
Jimmy's the bird.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I dig it. The Steam reviews are just, they're all positive almost. There's not a lot of them. 1,100, but still. Everybody just like atmosphere, it looks like. So I might have to
Like I
spend
said,
$5 and check this out.
they won an award for the audio, and the music in that game is very good. If you can like play the trailer or anything, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
It's good. It's good.
Right on. Hell yeah. Cool. All right.
If that's it.
Sounds like a very interesting concept for a game. That is the one thing I will say. And the fact that you were able to extrapolate so much out of it with it being so short is really cool.
I'm probably gonna take a look at this one then.
All right.
Okay.
So yeah,
All right.
that was really good.
All right, moving forward. Dalton, sorry, you're last. I'm going next.
Nah, it's okay. All right. I'm gonna just jump into it. I wanna rewind a little bit to say two things that I think are really funny because our small talk segment went way longer.
Yeah,
One, I've pretty much completely quit Destiny. I uninstalled it and have not played it in probably almost a month now.
Is there a reason for that?
It's just not fun anymore. It became a chore to play the game, so I just decided that I was done with it. And I am hoping to go home soon and get my motorcycle because my neighbor just got his out, and now I want to get mine.
pretty sure Sarah and I saw your sister stealing yours yesterday.
That's probably accurate. Well, she was either stealing mine or moving mine to get hers.
It was on Main Street. It was a road past Taco Villa.
Oh. What the fuck? Well, I really hope she didn't because my tags are expired and it's no longer insured, so
That's
so
why
if
she
she
had her
does.
hand around the back covering the license plate.
I was flipping the plate up.
Oh my god. That's crazy.
No, my
But
plate's
yeah.
back. My plate's back there, officer. The plate's like at this angle. Cop's like, yeah, it is. Okay.
Yeah. But other than that, I did another Call of Duty game, but there was a reason. And it's because I will get into it later.
I already wrote down what game you did, and I'm wondering if I'm right.
I did Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Fuck, I put Blops too. Never mind.
That would have been that would have been a fun one too. But yeah,
OG
I
or the
did
remake?
OG, not the reboot.
Fuck yeah! All right.
I did the OG Modern Warfare 2 from 2009. I'm mainly going to be talking about Spec Ops though, because that's what I spent way too much time doing. With good reason. So prior to doing this as part of the video or as part of my segment, I had already done the entire campaign and gotten all of the campaign achievements and done all of the intel hunting and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And then I can't play the multiplayer on PC because I got VAC banned over 10 years ago.
It sure
There's
came back
there,
to haunt you, didn't it?
I have one singular VAC ban on my account that is like over 3,800 days old or something like that.
Can you get that turned around at this point? Like, hey, can I have another
No.
chance? I've learned my
Nope.
lesson.
Nope, they almost in almost zero cases reverse VAC bans. Like you can get your account hacked, like somebody can break into your account, cheat on your account. They can
That used to be a real
clearly
big issue.
and then they can clearly see that it was just some random motherfucker in Russia that stole your account on a completely different IP. They can cheat on it, get you VAC banned, and there are still cases to this day that have not been reversed.
That's fucking stupid, dude. All right.
Yeah. So,
Elaborate on what that is. I'm not familiar with that.
it means that I cannot play Modern Warfare 2 2009 multiplayer. Like at all.
I mean, like what is a VAC? What VAC ban?
Valve anti-cheat.
Yeah, it's the Valve anti-cheat.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, so they have anti-cheats baked in mainly into only their own games. But for some reason, and I'm pretty sure this is only on the Modern Warfare 2 original version of the Steam copy. For some reason, they have Valve anti-cheat as their anti-cheat security for that game. So if I would have cheated on any other Call of Duty, I would have just gotten banned on the game. But instead, you can still go on my Steam profile if you are friends with me, and it says that I have one. Let me check actually really quick. It says one VAC ban on record, 3,741 days since my last ban. And then if I click info, it says that it is for. Oh, why did it open that?
where is it
That's not
saying
why.
that at? Hold on.
It says it on my account.
Oh,
Maybe other people can't see it, but
I don't think I get to see it. No, I'm on your account. There's nothing like
Yeah.
being thrown out at me.
it says VAC and bans for your account. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2
That's
2009 multiplayer. So, I previously had it installed to play IW4X. For those who don't know, that's a third-party client of the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer that is like supported with its own dedicated servers outside of the game. And that is because there have been a bunch of security exploits that have made the old games vulnerable to something called RATs and RCEs, or remote command executables, where essentially they can get into your computer without you having any idea of it happening, and then can pretty much steal all of your data on the flip of a switch. It's pretty crazy. But I'm stupid and have also been playing all of the other old Call of Duties just on the public servers, which is a really bad idea, and you probably shouldn't do it. But nothing bad's happened to me yet, so I don't really care. But yeah, so I've been playing Modern Warfare 2. And the main reason that I picked it is because I have been playing the Spec Ops a ton. But let me just get into like all the background stuff. So developed by Infinity Ward, published by Activision, and it was released November 10th, 2009 to PS3, Xbox 360, and PC originally, and then it says that it later got an OS X port, which I think is Mac OS. It's a version of Mac OS.
Oh, OS 10, yeah.
Yeah, but that version didn't release until I think like sometime in 2014, because they much later made an effort to start porting a lot more games over to Mac OS. But I'll go into what the overall game is first, and then I'll talk about my experience with the Spec Ops. So I just have a little blurb that I'm going to read. Modern Warfare 2 is a first-person shooter action game that centers around the modern era of war and combat, mainly in the perspective of the United States military. Set after the first entry in the franchise, a new terrorist threat has filled the shoes of your previous enemies, and he's not happy. Your goal is to stop his rise to power and maintain peace throughout the world, but good luck, you are not ready for the plot twist. So anyone who's played that game knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's a pretty cool, it's one of my favorite campaigns to play as part of the Call of Duty franchise. And it's definitely, this game overall is in my top 5 favorite CODs, hands down. I'm a big COD fanboy, to anyone who hasn't listened to any of the previous episodes. I talk about it all the time. But yeah, it's a great game. Like I said, I went through the campaign. I mean, I played the campaign over a decade ago. And this was actually probably one of the only early Call of Duties that I actually played around when it was still popular, like, and supported through the old consoles, because I got a PS3 in 2010 or 2011, somewhere in there. My grandma got me one for Christmas. Thanks, Grandma. And then I ended up with a copy of Modern Warfare 2, and then later I got a copy of Modern Warfare 3, and then I got Black Ops 2, and then so on. And then after that, I started buying my own games, and I would get the yearly release every single year past that point. But yeah, going into Spec Ops, the whole concept behind the Spec Ops mode is that it pretty much takes all of the campaign missions that you might have done, for anyone who has played the campaign, and then it flips certain elements on its head, or has like an alternate perspective or take of those same campaign missions. So it's very much like recycled, but they do it in a way that's refreshing to each of the individual missions. So similar to the campaign, you can choose to play on 3 different difficulties: regular, hardened, or veteran. The only difference with the campaign is you also have recruit, which is like essentially the I only want to know about the story and I don't want to die a million times option. And completing them on any of those difficulties will earn you 1, 2, or 3 stars respectively. So regulars 1, hardened 2, veteran 3. And the whole reason that I wanted to play the Spec Ops so bad is because I was going to challenge myself to earn all of the stars for all missions. And I think there are 23 missions total, and they're broken down into different acts. There are like 5 acts. And then each one has like a specific set of missions. The fun part and the difficult part, though, is I did most of them with a friend, and there were actually 2 of them that you had to do with a friend. Those ones sucked, because I had never done them really. I had done one of them before, but I hadn't done the other one before, so we launched it on veteran and then just like powered through and just suffered for like a couple hours getting through a lot of them. And the last 4 missions, which are the hardest to do, I ended up doing solo because the friend that I was doing them with bailed out and decided they didn't want to play anymore. So then I was like, fuck, I have to finish all of these alone. That being said, I am pretty proud because I did manage to get all of them.
Hey, let's go.
So I got all of the stars, and the whole reason that I wanted to do this is because I didn't have many perfect games on my achievement list for my Steam profile, and I really wanted one that I knew was actually kind of hard to do. And the only thing that I had left was the Spec Ops mission. So going on my account now, I have my achievements showcased in my profile, and it says that I have 3 perfect games now. One of them is Counter-Strike 2, which doesn't count because everybody has a perfect completion for that, because all you had to do was launch the game, because they wiped all the old achievements for no reason. They wiped all of the old achievements.
Was that when they did? Was that when they moved Counter-Strike to Counter-Strike 2.0?
Yeah, it's when they ported it. Yeah.
I gotcha.
And then Modern Warfare 2 2009, I have all 50 achievements, and the numbers on it should be lower because I know on PlayStation it's less than 1% of players got all 6. It's 69 stars, which is pretty funny.
That's what I was going to ask. The achievement is star 69. I
Yeah.
got it 12/19 of 2009.
Yeah, so on PlayStation, it's less than 1% of players, and then on Steam, it's 3.5% of players, which is still like one of my rarest achievements that I have in this. And then the only other perfect game that I have is the Black Ops multiplayer, and it's just because it only had 3 achievements and they were all really easy to get. But that's also because I've been watching this guy named Daultons. Shout out to him. He's a really cool achievement hunter YouTuber, and he's been trying to platinum all of his Call of Duty games on his PlayStation, and he's actually been going back and playing them all on PS3, like all the ones that were released back then, which is really cool. So now I'm doing the exact same thing, and I'm on the next entry on the list, which is Black Ops 1, and I'm currently working through the campaign for that as well. But
So
main reason I wanted to do this was to get the perfect completion for Modern Warfare 2.
So just because I feel like dating my age real quick, Dalton, do you
God.
know what star 69 is used for?
Yeah, it's
Like
for
that's a reference.
restricted calls, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, you could punch that in and it would redial the last call, basically.
No.
Wait, what?
Huh?
So okay, yes.
I think you guys-
if I call Cameron and I'm not in his phone, it just comes up as a number and he misses it. If he okay, so this is before phones had screens and logbooks and shit. So picture like the old phone on the wall. You have to go, the handset. They didn't have screens. So if you missed a phone call, if I call Cameron and he gets to the telephone on the living room wall too late, it's like, damn it. I don't even know who the fuck called. Star 69 will dial the most recent incoming number.
Okay. So there are actually 2 uses for that then, and I think you guys didn't know about the other one.
I thought the other one was star
So-
67.
It's star you type it's star
You do
67.
star
Oh,
67
yeah,
to
phone
restrict
number.
I
your
got
phone
I
number.
got them mixed up.
And that's for smartphones now, and in the 90s when they had like office phones that showed the incoming number, it would just show a bunch of X's if you star 67.
I am a little surprised you. I mean, you knew what I was talking about to some degree, which is
Yes.
surprising.
Yeah, I knew it was in reference to like it's a specific code that you can enter for phones, but I mixed up that one with star 67.
No,
Because
you're
star
good,
67, if you type that instead of an area code, it then shows up as a restricted number.
You type it before the area code, before the number in its entirety.
You can omit the area code entirely, and it still goes through. That's how I used to do. That's how I would do it. I instead of doing like, can I say our area code? Is that weird?
Everybody knows where we are. We've mentioned Bell Fountain multiple times.
Oh, okay, so instead of doing 937, if you're typing somebody else's phone number in, instead of typing 937, if you type star 67 and then the other 7 digits, it also does the same thing.
Okay.
So you actually don't have to type in the area code alongside the rest of the number for it to still work.
Worst case scenario, you can bleep that out if it hasn't been mentioned, but I swear it has been.
I've removed
Well,
it.
we've definitely talked about Bell Fountain as a place.
As post office specifically.
So I was looking at my Xbox achievements while you were talking about that. By the way, 2.64% of players. But I have the veteran campaign achievement and a bunch of other ones. My star 69 and my veteran got 2 days apart. The game released November 10th of 2009, and on 1 month later, on December 19th, is when I got my star 69 achievement. I no-lifed the fuck out of this game.
Damn, that's awesome. Here, hey Cameron. So you said you didn't want to feel old. I can make you feel extra old.
Oh, fantastic!
I was 8 years old when this game released.
Oh my god, it was 2009. I was 17.
Yeah, you would have been almost graduated.
I was a legal adult.
That makes me sad.
And I was you were a legal adult and I was in elementary school. Third grade, I think, to be exact.
Now that I'm sad and depressed, continue, Dalton. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're all good.
I just started a whole other tangent.
Yeah, you're all good. So, like I said, finishing that up meant that I got the full 100% completion on Steam, and it even something in me makes me want to buy a PlayStation just so because I have played Modern Warfare 2 on my current active PlayStation account, and
Mm.
I really am contemplating buying a PS3 just so I can go back and do it on there. But the thing that sucks is I would need somebody that also has a PS3 or would at least be willing to sit with me and play it.
John
I have a
has a
PS3.
PS3.
Oh my god, I guess we're buying copies of Modern Warfare 2 then.
Let me see if let me make a okay. So let me make a new Sony account and see if I can connect to the internet with it without getting banned. I think
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
so let me make a new email and yeah, if it all works, it works. Yeah.
Yeah, so other little side tangent in regards to this, I am also planning I have the next 3 days off. I don't know how it happened, but they gave me the next 3 days straight off. So I am planning on Friday that I am going to be releasing a YouTube video on my YouTube channel that I'm going to give to John to link either in this episode or in a new description because I haven't been streaming on Twitch because I want to start doing videos more because it puts a lot less pressure on me to like get things out there and I can put more effort into it and make it look better. But this Friday I am planning on releasing something in regards to this that I have my working title is The Iconic Design of Modern Warfare 2 Spec Ops, or What Made Modern Warfare 2 Spec Ops So Good. And so it's going to be a bit of I've been watching a lot of like Call of Duty retrospective videos, and then I was like, these guys are really cool and they have a lot to say. Fun thing is, so do I, because I'm really young and these games were not in on my radar when I was like a small child. So be like a fun, fresh perspective to bring. But I
That's
am
fair.
planning on making a video regarding specifically this mode in this game.
Hell yeah.
And then last little thing for my thing, and then we can obviously open the floor a bit more because I tend to babble when I'm reading off of my little notes that I have. The pivotal design of this game mode, I think, was a great first entry and precedent for the idea of like third modes in Call of Duty games. For anybody who doesn't play, there's typically like a story mode, a multiplayer, and then some extra third mode. For most Infinity Ward games, it's a special ops or survival mode. And then for pretty much all of the Treyarch games, it's been zombies.
Zombies.
And I think that Spec Ops was like the first. It set a great precedent for all of the third modes moving forward, and it has since like blown the overarching idea of Call of Duty, just the abilities and the capabilities out of the water. So
That's fair.
it was a great start, and I feel like all of the subsequent entries were able to expand on that in a way that was really pivotal for it was something that Call of Duty needed.
Yeah, otherwise, I
in
mean,
its
if we
game
didn't have
design.
stuff like that, we wouldn't have things like Warzone, which the three of us have been played a little bit recently,
Mhm.
or DMZ rather. Wouldn't have like DMZ. We wouldn't have Warzone. The complexity of zombies wouldn't exist. There's various different like mini games or like different. You know how Halo has like capture the flag, search and or not search and destroy, but traditional multiplayer games have all these like other game types that has now come to Call of Duty.
Mhm.
Because of things like Spec Ops and shit like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. So I wrote down a note here. It says it has the timestamp that you started your segment, the game, but change Daulton's Twitch channel of lies to his YouTube channel in the description. So
That's really funny. And I think once I start once I start doing like having more video ideas, I'll probably just do streaming more on the side as just like a fun thing as opposed to like a thing that I would try to pivot into as a career thing. Basically I'm trying to turn content creation and YouTube into a side hustle. That's what it comes down to. because it is something that I would enjoy, like turning into a sort of a job of sorts. So
As soon as we get going, we can start monetizing door-to-door gaming.
yeah,
Any day now, guys. Any day
Any
now. Just
day.
gotta get those emails. Oh,
Emails,
hey,
please.
hey. So
get those
another complete
emails.
tangent. If anyone listening knows Jack Black, I know he's got a quote unquote video game channel on his YouTube where he mainly doesn't talk about video games. If we could get him as a guest on this show where he can actually talk about video games and still not play them, be golden.
By the way,
That's fine.
okay, hold on. You brought up Jack Black, so now we're completely abandoning everything. Did anyone
Oh
else
boy.
go watch the Minecraft movie?
I did.
I have
I have
not.
not.
I really
Sarah,
want-
what did you think?
Have you seen it, Dalton?
Yes,
you-
I watched. I
okay,
watched it the day
Okay.
that it came to theaters.
Okay, all right.
It was a lot in a very short time span. Like
Uh-huh.
they tried to explain a lot, but overall it was rather Jack Blacky. Like
Jack
Yeah.
Black.
overall the whole thing was just goofiness and I don't even know what was going on with Jason Momoa, but was it Jason Momoa?
Oh my
No,
God.
not
Yeah,
Ja-
it's Jason
the Ro-
Momoa.
Dwayne
Jason-
the Rock. Yeah.
No, you were Jason
I was right.
Momoa. Jason Momoa was so fucking funny. It was
He
so
was
weird to
hilarious.
see. It was so weird seeing him in a role where he's not taking himself seriously at all. Because the only other thing I've seen him in is like random clips from Game of Thrones, which is a very different vibe.
Oh
Like
yeah.
he's a horrible person in Game of Thrones.
See, the problem is the
Oh.
character was taking himself so seriously that nobody
Yeah.
else was taking him seriously.
Mhm. So what
So
were your
without,
thoughts?
like-
Like, did you like the movie? I mean,
Yes, it was a good movie. Like,
yeah. Because
this-
I'm a big Minecraft nerd, and I fucking loved it. And it was because it took what Minecraft was and then expanded on it in a way that I did not expect or predict whatsoever. And it was super cool. It was really funny. It very much was like a Jack Black vibe.
oh yeah.
But I also love Jack Black. I think he's really funny. And I think the energy that he brings to stuff is really cool.
The
so.
random appearance of, and I don't know what her name is again, the legally blonde chick, the heavier set blonde that got with
Oh,
the
shit.
villager.
Yeah, it's the girl, the older woman that Ariana Grande does a really good impression of.
Could
On
really go
SNL?
for a hot or something like that.
Damn it! What's her name?
Oh god. Yeah, I need to watch it.
So without going into like movie spoilers.
Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh god. Okay. So without going into movie spoilers, is it the story of Minecraft or is it like its
No.
own story?
No.
Okay. Okay.
It's its own.
Yeah, no, it's like it's a whole different thing. I would say that it looks a lot like Minecraft and it is very Minecraft inspired, but as far as like the gameplay of the game itself, where like the normal gameplay story is that you try to defeat the Ender Dragon. The Ender Dragon I don't even think is mentioned in the movie.
No.
okay.
But I mean, they have slight mention to it, but my best description of the movie is Jack Black is Steve, but he was like captured and had been imprisoned for however long amount of time. I feel like they tried to set it after the main storyline of Minecraft when
So
it's
you
been
mean-
years since then.
So
and
the Ender Dragon's dead, and this is just
yeah,
okay.
this is after he's built his empire in Minecraft, and then some other big bad guy took him. And do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, does that
Yeah.
make sense? Like,
Is
it's another storyline for the movie itself.
Yeah, they also use Minecraft as a world, as a dimension, as opposed to just a video game, where I mean it's not going to spoil it really that much, but essentially like Jack Black, who plays Steve, is like a real person, and he goes to Minecraft to like escape real life and that's how
Okay.
he built up this world. And like no one took him seriously in real life because he spent so. I mean, think of all of the people that make fun of us for playing video games, right?
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
yeah.
So I might
But it's
have to
pretty
watch
good.
this movie.
I th-
Okay.
I if you like the game and you are willing to approach it from not taking it very seriously, it's a really fun watch. Like I feel like it's just a good vibe and it's a fun watch.
This-
Yes.
Don't see it in any large theater if it's still in theaters in
Oh
any large
God.
theaters
Yeah.
because there was a huge TikTok trend called chicken jockey where
Yes.
as soon as they Sarah, I don't know how you don't know about this if you've seen the movie.
I
So,
saw it in theaters too.
yeah, so well, I saw it in theaters too, but they had signs posted everywhere that said our theater will not tolerate anything about chicken jockey. If anything happens during the chicken jockey scene, everyone will be removed from the theater with 0 refunds processed for any of the patrons.
Okay,
So
so what happened?
so the chicken jockey scene where he's wrestling the chicken jockey in the
Right.
movie, right? As soon as that happens, there were a bunch of huge theaters and viral TikTok videos of people taking their popcorn and just throwing it in the air and spraying their sodas everywhere and leaving the entire theater an absolute fucking mess. There was
Oh.
one video of a woman that was sitting on a dude's shoulders and she had a live chicken in her hand during the film. It's the weirdest shit in the world. I'll try and find it. I'll try.
I think it's related to Nacho Libre.
I don't.
Maybe.
I don't. Am I
None
the
of-
only one? Am I the only one
None
that's
of
seen
this.
Nacho Libre?
None of
You're-
this is adding up. Because I know this trend, but like, why that scene in particular? I don't. It
Okay,
doesn't
yeah,
add up.
it's literally just a bunch of stupid, dumb kids scream chicken jockey when they see the scene, and then the whole crowd erupts in the most chaotic mess that you could ever think of. And then the aftermath videos, it looked like it had snowed in
Okay.
the theater.
So there was a lot of excitement in the I was in the second row. So there was a lot of excitement in the theater behind me for the chicken
Uh-huh.
jockey. However, I focused on the movie. I didn't turn around, but when we left the theater, it looked like a disaster zone had occurred.
Okay.
So maybe
So if-
something did happen.
Probably. If I had to guess, probably. But it like there were. Imagine whatever you saw. How many people were at the theater?
It was full. It was a full house.
Okay, that's nuts. Because there were maybe 20 people in the one
There
that
m-
we saw.
There might have been like a row or two that didn't have anybody in it. Maybe. It was pretty full.
But you're talking like at least 100 people were at this
Yeah,
theater.
yeah.
And you didn't notice anything. You didn't get hit with popcorn.
No, I was in the family in
Okay.
front of us too didn't notice shit, but we did turn around and we're like, man, there's a lot of shit on the floor.
All right. Somebody else keep I'm gonna find this. And you're gonna see this wacky ass shit.
I read somewhere also that they put something in the movie for Technoblade. Is that true?
They did, yes. At the beginning, you see a pig walking around with a crown, and it's really cute.
Oh, that's fucking cool. That's awesome.
It's really, really nice. It was really
For-
neat that they had dedicated something to him.
Does everybody know here at least know who Technoblade is? Okay.
I'm
So-
not like I.
So Technoblade was it was a content creator for Minecraft. He had done Minecraft videos for like years and years and years and years and years. And he was like really fucking popular with it. He was like one of the Minecraft content creators for a long fucking time. He had a huge fan base, and he ended up coming down with cancer, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And it progressed into stage 3 and ultimately took his life. But he made videos. I'm gonna get fucking teary eyed. Jesus Christ. He made videos right up until he died, until there was one video that was uploaded by his dad. Look at me. What the fuck, dude?
No,
it was
it's
it
a
was
really
up-
beautiful story.
It was uploaded by his dad. The video was of his dad running around in one of his Minecraft worlds, reading a script that his son had wrote that literally started out with, "If you are listening to this, I am dead. Thank you so much for being here." Like it was this dude. It's so fucking heartbreaking. His dad does the whole thing. It's really, like, oh, I can. It's just fucking sad, dude. But like, he was like the most beloved Minecraft creator for years. So that's
Yeah,
cool. That's cool.
and there have been a lot of moments in the overall franchise that have made nods to Technoblade, like in the the main Minecraft screen where it's just like the banner over the top and there's the little yellow logo on the one side, that has like random text normally put through it.
Yeah,
His main motto was Technoblade never dies, and they put that on the screen a lot of times where.
that's nice to hear.
Yeah.
That's cool.
By the flipping tones a little bit, I did send you that a video, Sarah, of what happens, so you should definitely look at that. It's titled, I think it's titled "The Top 3 Worst Chicken Jockey Reactions."
Oh God.
Yeah, I like Minecraft and I like Jack Black. I didn't have the desire to go see the movie, so. But if
Yeah.
it's decent, I'll watch it. I'll probably get it when it comes out on DVD or on
Mhm.
Netflix or what have you anymore.
Right.
Keeping up with the younger generation.
The popcorn thing definitely happened. The
Okay.
soda just looks like people threw it down the walkway, like it was poured everywhere. But I didn't see any live chickens that I was aware of.
I would hate to be a 13-year-old getting paid less than minimum wage and have to clean that shit up. It's
I will
fucking-
say
Yeah,
that the person that
that's
came
Well,
in to
most of the
clean didn't look
13-year-olds were
very
watching
happy.
the movie.
Yeah,
I'd quit,
creating the mess.
though. I'd quit. I'd quit.
Yeah, no, it's unreasonable. Yeah, but Cameron, if you like the game, you'll like the movie. If you like
Okay.
the game and you're willing to just like go into it being like, this is just gonna be fun. I'm just gonna enjoy this movie. It's really fun.
Okay. Yeah. I'll
And
have to
it's fun and it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's just silly and it's a good watch.
It's good.
All right, we went so far off the rails.
That's
We
fine.
went
Sarah,
really far. It's okay.
Let's jump into yours.
Oh, well, Dalton, you do realize you cut me, right?
Huh? What do you mean?
I said that you would clean up and go last, and then you started talking, and you were on such a roll. I figured I'd just let you keep going.
Wait, what?
Yep.
I thought you said I was good. That you were gonna. I'm so
I know.
confused.
I said, I am sorry, Dalton, but you're going to go last, and I'm going to go now.
Oh,
I thought you said Dalton was going next too. So I was like, all right, let's go.
I thought you
Okay,
said
yeah.
I thought you said next.
No. I'm going to go next, and you're going to be last today, I think is word for word verbatim what I said. But when you started talking, I was like, he seems to be really into this. I'll just let him go. No biggie.
Sarah and I looked at each other and we're like,
It's okay.
All right, well, fuck.
You're banned.
Damn.
No.
now
fair
he's been
enough.
Zach banned from the podcast. Damn.
That's so funny. I don't know how I missed that. Just completely
I
and
did.
entirely.
I did too, Dalton. You're good.
That's funny.
You're good.
It's okay. I just figured you'd clean up better than I would, but here we go. I'll try anyways. The game I played is called Wonderstop.
I'm not meant to be here. I'm a fighter. I'm meant to be in the arena. In combat.
And it is released in 2005 by Annapurna Interactive. Developers are Ivy Road. I guess there was an interesting thing by Annapurna Interactive. 25 of their employees walked out before this game was even released.
None of these tasks are all that hard.
So the strike is what you said it was?
I'm not really the
No, it wasn't a strike. They just quit, if I remember correctly.
So-
Annapurna Interactive is a really well-known like indie indie game development studio that makes things. They made things like Stray and a couple other like really well received games. And then if I remember correctly, mid last year, they didn't like how their parent company was treating them, so the entire development staff just kind of vacated the building and said, "Fuck you."
And left. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Just like
Damn.
in one day, closed down an entire development studio by quitting. But clearly they're still in business, so.
Yes, this is one of the games that was released after said incident. It is a cozy single-player game. It is very beautiful artwork-wise. And it has seasons similar to Stardew. So you'll see changes in the weather and changes in the surrounding area. But the game at its base, the main character, her name is Alta, and she is an undefeated fighter. At the beginning of this game, unfortunately, she loses two fights, and she doesn't know what to do with herself. It completely destroys her, and she starts running through the woods. She's running, and she just keeps talking. She can do better. She has to do better. She's going to go find this Master Winters to teach her the best way to fight so that she can be undefeated for the rest of her life, because this is what she's trained to do. This is all that she knows how to do. And she ends up running until she passes out. And she wakes up sitting on a bench next to a rather large gentleman named Boro. Boro owns a tea shop. And you can't... So, as a fighter, you have weapons you choose or whatnot. After she's passed out, she's unable to pick her sword up. It has become so unbelievably heavy that she cannot pick her sword up anymore. Boro suggests to her to relax, make tea with him in his shop, and see if the relaxation will help her be able to pick her sword back up, because she has overworked herself. It is a very interesting game. There's a lot of odd things in and out of it, but it is set up totally to your pace. There is no obligation. Say a customer walks into the tea shop, there is no obligation for you to fill that tea order in any particular time frame. You can go out and cut vines endlessly. You can sweep up piles of leaves endlessly if that is what you choose to do in this game. There is a story, and I have played roughly 25 hours in this game. I do believe that there is quite a bit more to be discovered. Being as it was released this March, there's not a lot of people that have a lot of hours into it, but it is definitely a game that I'm going to put more hours into. One thing I've noticed about the game, they have achievements, but I don't know what they're tied to. I have 6 out of 11, but there's absolutely nothing that tells you what these achievements are for. Like, I played for 10 minutes before I got on here for the story. The achievement I got was noble and futile. A noble and futile effort. Best of luck. And I unlocked it at 7:12 p.m. I don't know what I did. I cut a vine and then it popped up and I was like, I got another achievement. I'm halfway there. Let's keep going. I don't know. You meet a lot of interesting characters throughout the game. One of my favorite was Gerald. I can't say his name. Gerald. Maybe that would be better. Yeah. Every
Sorry.
time a new, you're fine. Every time a new customer comes in, they seem to have oddities about them, as if they're not really sure what's going on at first or how they got to where they got. So there's some hidden nuances in this game that I haven't completely figured out, but I have a good idea to as what's going on. He is a father to his son Timothy, and he has knight clothes on. Like, he's trying to be a knight to prove to his son that he is the best and most awesome dad. And at some point going through this forest, he got a curse, and you could kind of see the curse on his leg or whatnot. But this is just one of many customers, but he was the one that I liked the most. At as you get to know the characters more and more and make their tea orders and work with them, they end up just stop talking to you. Once they stop talking to you, that's when the seasons change. You don't know what happens to the rest of their story, or at least I haven't found out for all of the characters that I've come in contact. All of their stories have been left unfinished. I don't know if that's the point of the game, because like I said, it kind of has this background nuance of it's not really sure, other than you get to make your decisions and you never really know what happens in life type thing. That's my best guess. One of the other things, other than sweeping leaves and trimming vines, you make tea. You are able to plant multiple different plants. You have seeds that you plant in patterns, and it creates different. There's the small plant, small hybrid, and a large hybrid, and you get different fruits, seeds, or tea items that you can add. And the tea machine is rather interesting. You have to climb up and down a ladder to interact with it. So you climb all the way to the top. There's a little lever. You pull it. You fill the tea basin. Then you have to roll down the ladder a little bit. You have to pump one of those. What are those called?
Bellows?
The bellows. You have to hit that bellow and keep it in this little area. And
Can I say? Well, I was
Yeah.
watching you play one time, and what she's describing, it's like a ballet on a ladder, because like it looks like she's using her knees to hold on to the ladder while both feet are operating a tool, and this arm's over here, and she's trying to reach the. It's just it's
Yeah.
a vibe. It's a
and
vibe.
the only that the ladder is
Hold on.
on like wheels.
It reminds me of what you just described, John. Reminds me of the dude from Spirited Away, the spider dude with multiple arms, and he's like reaching over and doing all these things
Yeah.
all at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the ladder rotates around the tea machine, which is attached to a tree, so that when the tea overfills in the cup, it waters the tree itself. Whole lot of different nuances. Very beautiful game. If you like cozy games, this one is definitely interesting with the darker, what seems to be a darker side. Some of the story that I've uncovered is darker, but I don't necessarily want to spoil that for somebody that would like to play it.
The themes, it seems, the themes compared to the visuals are opposites quite often. The story that it has to tell deals with quite dark. It seems like it deals with depression quite a bit.
Oh yes.
So like all the theming in it is very dark and like real, but the colors in this game are like very vibrant. Trees are very vibrant purples and pinks and greens and blues.
So one of her, I'll say to the contrary for the bright colors and stuff, there was one season change where she had come to terms with something that she had done that she felt made her a bad person. And when the season came in, it was nothing but a grayed out version of this beautiful landscape and the tea shop that she had met so many people, made so many friends or whatever in. And it was nothing but endless vines just growing and growing and growing. The only thing you could do was cut those vines, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. And essentially within that time frame, she keeps talking to herself about how she's lost herself and how she can't deal with the fact that she has become this person, and so on and so forth. It's really interesting. It makes you think about you inside and what you deal with on a regular basis, and see it through other people's perspectives. I guess I feel like that makes sense.
But I play video games to escape my problems.
I play video games to deal with said problems.
Oh yeah.
Also, cute little animal in it named a Pluffin. They walk around and they go eek, 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 and then they'll pick up stuff, and you literally get to pick these little penguin dudes up and shake them until they drop the thing they picked up, and then you throw the Pluffin down, grab the thing, and put it where it goes. They drink
really
tea
funny.
and change colors. I love the little Pluffins. I love the Pluffins.
Yeah, you said they steal your shit all the time, right?
Oh,
Run
yeah.
off with it. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I saw the game on for sale on the Xbox Marketplace. I will have to give it. I was planning on picking it up at some point, but
Some of the
I've sold me on that one.
cutscenes, I will warn you, some of the cutscenes are very like heart pulling. Like, I don't know how to show you one of my screenshots from the game, but like, I almost want to say she's dealing with split personality at some point in the game because of how much she's talking to herself, but also looking at herself as a completely different person. Like, it's not something that she would normally do. And then, like, at the very beginning, talking about how she was defeated in her battles, and that's how she started running into the woods. There's this very, I think it's pretty, in a weird way, artwork. It is her that has crumbled to the ground, and there's just sword after sword stuck in her back, showing how much of a burden she's put on herself. It's a lot.
My God.
Yeah.
That sounds way more dark than just making fucking tea. Holy shit.
Yeah,
I know, but the
yeah.
tea part is super happy, so it's like a little, like, a medium. There's both, you know.
Yeah, you get to make
Pluffins.
tea. You get to make tea, shake penguins, and see people that probably look like they want to die.
Yes. One other thing, one of the things that the Pluffins will carry around, since we are mail carriers, I kind of have to bring it up. They find packages in the woods, and you have a mailbox that you can return said package to sender.
Game of the year.
Yeah, there you go. You
Gets
also
the-
get
Game
Postal
Deck gets the door-to-door stamp of approval.
you also get a few other things in the mailbox. Like there's this book subscription. You literally get certain books. The main character in the two books that I've read is Dirk Warhard. He's like a special agent guy, and in the first book, his like big ending thing is 2 weeks ago, the person that he's never met before, he somehow inserted explosives to him, and that was the way that he beat them, by going back 2 weeks in time and putting explosives into her, and she all of a sudden just blows up. And that's how he
What the
wins.
fuck?
I know. I like there's so many weird things in this. It's just, yeah. You want to know what other games this person or this developer has made? Donut County and Stray. From the same
I
developers.
love both of those games, though.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Especially
Annapurna has
Stray.
a...
Stray was good.
Yeah, so Annapurna, I don't want to steal it too much from you.
No,
but
you're
we
fine,
were
because that's
talking
not
about,
something I can do very
yeah,
well.
we were talking about indie devs before, and Annapurna technically is not an indie developer. They have like a parent company, but another another area that you may have heard like add the words Annapurna before. They are a movie production company primarily. They just got into the game space like 3 or 4 years ago, maybe, give or take.
That makes their games make way more sense.
Yeah, Annapurna Pictures is the parent company. I'm trying to do this on the fly. They made they made a lot, okay? But here's like a smattering of genres that they've hit. Has anybody seen Zero Dark 30? So do you remember, I believe, okay, this is the action, this was that really popular like war film that came out in like 2012 or something like that, that detailed SEAL Team 6 taking bin Laden in Afghanistan. Really like high budget, gritty film, like it's an Iraq war
Pretty
film.
sure I've seen it.
Yeah, it's an Iraq war film. It's a whole genre. Iraq war films, they have a vibe. It makes sense. There's really only one way to go about making it. They also made Sausage Party. So there's that stain on the film industry, and they went along. They when they opened
That
up,
movie's fucking weird.
yeah, it is. When they opened up Annapurna Interactive, they did things like Stray. They did What Remains of Edith Finch, a couple of other like really well accredited games, and then like I mentioned earlier, pretty much everything. The whole studio fell apart with contract negotiations one year, and everybody walked out last
I
year.
was
So
gonna say
this is a post. This game is a post Annapurna interactive Golden Years game, if you will. So
I was gonna say, even with Sausage Party, the company was facing some backlash. They were underpaying their staff. Some people weren't even getting paid for a long time while making that movie.
Right.
Oh damn.
It sounds like the studio kind of needs to get its act together.
Yeah, man. It's yeah. So
I've heard a lot of good things about What Remains of Edith Finch. So
it's a walking sim. It's a very, 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 very well reviewed walking sim. You'll quite often see it on like people's lists of like top 10 games that have changed the industry in one way or another. But yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. I'm done with Annapurna. I'm done talking. Back to you, host lady.
Any questions, y'all?
So is
Negatorio.
from what little I've seen of it, is it heavily dialogue based? Like, am I just going to be reading walls of text? Because like, not that I mind doing that, but I like voiced stuff a lot better in games.
It is reading. There is no voice text. Well, I should say there is a few when Alta is speaking, like when she's having memory flashbacks and stuff.
Cutscene type stuff.
Yeah, in order to do the cutscene, you have to sit Alta down with a cup of tea, and she's drinking it. Each different flavor variety of tea will bring up another repressed memory or thought or something that she's going to talk about. Yes, it is a lot of heavy reading. However, there's a lot of sound effects to go with it that make it, I don't know, more
tolerable.
Yeah.
Somebody says something out of curiosity. Their character makes a background noise like, huh? Like stuff like that.
So,
what are the audio cues?
Audio cues. So, I am one of those people that will sit there in a loop of speaking to somebody. Like, the game is telling you that you can't do this anymore. But there was one character that was like, no, you're a big baby. And I was like, no, you're a big baby. And I just wanted to see how long it would go before somebody would just give in to being the big baby. And it had to be me. But like, I probably sat there for a good 5 minutes just trying to see, because the option kept popping back up, and I'm like, let's go, let's see. As in with Gerald. Why can't I say his name? Gerald had endless photos almost of his son. He just kept sharing different photos of things that he had done with his son. For some reason, one of those things is he would take his son every Monday or Wednesday to buy 30 sacks of corn flour. And that's just something that they did together as father and son every Monday or Wednesday. I can't remember which one. But yeah, he's an interesting character. I love the game. I know it's stupid.
I can tell. No, it's not stupid. I can tell.
Yeah. It sounds like you enjoyed it, and I at some point, it's on my list of games. I have like 107 games on my wish list right now, so it's on there.
I have a backlog app on my phone I don't ever dare look at.
No, see, that's the thing. My backlog list, I know it's long. My wish list, it's long too. But as long as it's on my wish list, it's like, hey, I have yet to play those. So
there you go. The wish list is like the backlog to the backlog you don't think about, right? Yeah.
I feel like having a wish list is 10 times better than having a backlog, because at least you know that you didn't buy it yet.
There's no pressure there's no pressure at all with a wish list, because here's what happens with a backlog. You're like, oh my god, I bought this game like 3 years ago and I still haven't fucking touched it. Jesus Christ. Here's what a wish list does. Oh, I really wanted to play that game. Oh, it's still $60. Nah, fuck that. What's next? Like, no pressure.
Yeah, that's where like the summer and winter sales though equally fuck you, because then you're like, oh, all
So-
215 games on my wish list are on sale for under $20. I should
Cameron-
just get them all.
Cameron's
Let's
quickly
go.
learning what my favorite, which wonderful viewers and listeners, Cameron has been utilized. Cameron has dug out his PC and got it set back up because that's what we have been playing Abiotic Factor on. And Cameron is quickly learning what my favorite Steam-based meme is. It is the skeleton doing the squat challenge, where with the like 200-pound deadlift bar on his back. It says, "My body is a machine that turns Steam sales into 0 hours played."
That's awesome.
Have
I
you
love
not
that.
seen that? Have you seen it?
I don't think I have, no.
I'll find it real quick. But yeah, no. All right, cool.
Yeah, you are the embodiment of that meme.
Uh,
We all are. It's an issue for everyone.
I love Lord Gaben, but god damn it, does he make my library large and my playtime small?
Only true gamers will understand.
Oh Lord. All right. Anybody else got anything?
Anything to share? Anything at all?
Going once, going twice, going thrice.
Doom comes out soon, so rip and tear. That'll be me.
There you go. Rippeth
Oh, yeah.
and teareth, actually.
Rippeth and teareth.
I'm gonna cover one of the
Also,
whatever the new soundtrack is. I'm gonna try and cover one of the songs on drums.
Oh,
Do it.
do it.
I'll do like a snippet.
Sean, it is a prequel to Doom 2016? No, Doom
It's
Eternal.
a prequel?
It is a prequel. Events that led up to the events that took place in Doom Eternal. Because Doom Eternal starts off like literally like midway. Like the Doom Slayer is just there.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Interesting. So it is going back in time then. Okay.
To a degree. I don't know how far back.
Okay. All right.
Back to 2016.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Any more small tangents, I should say.
I have none.
Cameron. Any small tangents?
Oh no, sorry. You scared
No, you're
me. I was
fine.
like, what did I do?
You cut me. No, that was Daulton. Daulton, anything else to say?
Two things. One, I'm sorry that I totally misinterpreted our
You're
previous
fine.
conversation. I don't know how I did that, if I'm being completely honest. Like,
It's
I don't
okay.
know how I just
Cameron did
completely
too.
missed
You're
it.
okay.
Wait, what did Cameron do?
He said
He
heard
also
what
thought
you
he just
the
did.
same as me.
Yeah.
I was like, what did Cameron do?
No. Nobody did anything. I'm not mad
The
at
only one
anybody.
that fucked up's Dalton. Got it. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I fucked up, guys. I'm sorry.
Well, I guess I know who's not getting to host next episode.
Fair enough. That's fair. And then my other thing is, I said it earlier, but to those who are listening that ride motorcycles, it's bike season, baby, and I couldn't be
Let's
happier.
go.
I've already gotten mine out a couple times. So
Yeah, I gotta go pick mine up from home.
do it. Do it.
All right, John, do you want to pull up a list so we can roll a dice?
I have a list.
All right, and John,
You want to show off your gigantic goddamn die?
Oh yeah, I forgot you got that.
Fucking
Yeah.
huge.
Perfect.
speaking of, hold on. I have a tangent.
Uh-oh.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Oh boy.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We gotta meet David
that was
Tennant.
fun.
It-
That was
Not-
that was fun.
That dude's accent is so heavy.
And I know this one's not as popular as most people, but
That's
I've
her.
met Tom Welling like 4 times now.
That's her other. That's her other husband. Apparently.
Yeah, Tom Welling said he
fucking-
found me and then he wrote an arrow.
It's
where I
literally
was.
to the point where if she shows up to meet Tom Welling, he pulls her out of the fucking line or points her out or what the fuck ever. It's-
That's
That's how
awesome.
my,
What?
That's how my grandma is with Doug Stone, if you guys know who that is.
No, I don't. Now I feel. You said grandma, so I feel okay in my.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
In my defense on Tom Welling, it's my sister that passed away. She was obsessed with the show Smallville, so I feel like I help keep her alive by seeing Tom Welling. Not to mention he's pretty to
Aw.
look at. So.
Oh, that's sweet.
I googled Tom Stone. I still don't. Or Doug Stone. I still don't know who he is. Country singer.
Yeah.
He's 90s country singer. I should know this then.
Real country, if you will.
Yeah, old school. You got that Seminole winds and shit back then. Anyway.
John, since you like to talk so much, you're the host for the next episode.
Yeah. What the fuck is
I'll
this?
just bowl it
What is
on that
happening
one
on
because I
the
don't know what I'm
screen?
talking about next.
That's okay. You hosted last time. You picked me, so now I picked one of the other two.
I just realized.
And Daulton did cut, so that is why he got cut from hosting.
Oh,
Hey, I
Okay.
respect it. I respect it.
Hey, at
That's-
least you didn't
that
realize you
scene-
bumped your camera at some point. And it's been staring at half of a post-it note for the last God knows how long. It was.
It's that there it is.
All right.
That scene from the movie. Tic-tac-toe, bitch. That was-
All right.
Roll a dice. Roll a die. Roll a die. Roll a die. It's taken. Do it again.
All right.
It was 14.
Again.
Which would have been our first game. I remember.
18.
18. Gaming culture then and now. Ooh.
Okay.
Good. That was
Okay,
back then you were fucking weird. Now it's normal in a nutshell.
No, we still fucking
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, you were weird with very limited friends. Now you're weird with more friends.
Yeah.
Now- yeah, everybody's weird. That's fine.
We've all grew into our weirdness.
You were
Yeah.
antisocial as a child, and now you are infinitely more antisocial. But you talk to the people that talk about games.
Yes.
Oh wait, sorry, just me.
It's guys, it's not weird to wear video game hoodies in public anymore.
See, I feel like I'm the weird person out when it comes to talking to people. I'm not afraid to go up to talk to anybody, but I will sound like a big buffoon because I don't know what I'm talking about half the time.
play games too?
Do you play games? Have you played this one? Oh my gosh, this is what happened in Mass Effect.
That's
And they're like,
exactly
"What?"
how I felt when I first came to the Bell Fountain post office and found out that you guys gamed, and then I was like, oh my god, there's more. Oh, there's more people. Oh my god.
I love it.
I'm not alone.
There's dozens of us. Dozens.
A mere few.
We're in the shadows. We're all around. Just accept it.
I want to get a bumper sticker for my car that's just the hand from the Elder Scrolls, and it says "We know."
We know.
Yeah, we know.
What was that topic again?
What? Oh, the next one?
18.
Gaming culture.
Gaming culture then and now.
Yeah. I only highlighted
Oh,
half of it and bolded it. Oops.
Gaming
Anything
now.
else, gentlemen?
Nothing. Now's where we
Nothing.
sign the fuck off. And
Dalton,
Go
do you
play
want to
games.
say it? Do you want to say it?
Oh, I made him do it. Sorry, don't. Sorry.
oh yeah, you did. Go play games.
Go play games.
Go play games.
Now John cut.
I'm looking at you. You right
Play
there.
go games. Play go games.
Get it. Go. Play.
You right there.
Play go
Games
games.
go
Play
play.
games.
Games
Play
go
go
play.
games.
Games go play.
Games. Play. Play games. Go play games.
Game door gaming?
I'm just gonna cut it like in the middle of the scream.
Game door knocking.
Game to game door knocking.
Door to door
All
sales
right,
gamers.
guys, say bye.
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 Bitch. Dolk.